Well, hello, and welcome back to Ashy Stream, where your ashy dreams come true. Can you guys hear me? I don't have my headphones on, even though I know that shouldn't do anything because no one's talking back to me. I think it helps cancel out some of the echo. Hey, Dakota, how are you? Good to see you. Ian Dubs in the building. Well, yeah, I'm kind of like far away from the thing, and I have all this stuff in front of me. I'll try to speak up. Is that a little better? I guess I could use the mic on this. Let me mess with my settings. Hello. I just changed it. How does that sound? Is that better? Yo, what up, Duke? Good to see you. What up? Oh, now it's too loud. Yeah, I have my camera mic next to me. It's too loud now? Well, I can soften it up. Is that a little better? Yeah, I changed my mic settings, so now it's right here. All right, cool. Yeah, so now I can talk my normal decibel level. Show NPR that shit. Guys, welcome. Pause. Guys, welcome to Ashy Stream, where your ashy dreams come true. I'm your ashy host, Jamar Nicholas. We're doing something really special here tonight, where you get to hang out with me, and this is the end of June all access here on my Patreon, but I'm streaming on my private YouTube channel. I usually do all my streaming for the JNN, Jamar Nicholas Network series of programs like Coffee Break with JN and Pencil to Pencil, but this is on my Jamar Nicholas channel. So if you've never been here, why don't you like it and subscribe? Why don't you? And this is also running public on my YouTube channel, so anybody that subscribed to me will see this. And also, it is for anybody who is on my Patreon campaign at any tier level. And also, it's one of the new things I've done on Patreon is there's I guess it's not a tier, it just allows you to be free. So you can kind of see whatever kind of public posts that I put on my Patreon campaign. And all June, myself and Mike Hawthorne have been doing most of our posts public. So in the hopes and interest that we shake the tree a little bit, maybe get some new blood into our campaigns. So if you've been on the fence for a while and you've liked what you've seen over the last month here, consider subscribing. Look at the doobly-doo down there and do what it says. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is a little Bunkportish, actually, with all the blue in the background. This is more like like mauve, so it's a little purple pink. Thank you. You know how KB does. There's a fresh pink. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I forget I tell you guys all this stuff, and now you know. So let's get set up. That's like what was it, the dress? Was it blue or was it gold? Yeah, I'm so glad that we figured out this mic thing. I'm sorry it's so hot, but so what I have going on here is I'm running through StreamYard, and I have my computer camera, and I have my auto. This is like my webcam that I keep off, and I keep it in a box pause until I need it. Yeah, I think there was some sneakers too. And I am going to do some drawing and talk to you guys for as long as I can make this be entertaining for you. So I'm going to throw a couple of screens up. I'm going to throw up. I hope this doesn't mess you up. I have my tablet. This is my Huion tablet that I draw on, which is on an arm. You can kind of see it here, and that's part of the arm right there. And then we actually have my screen that I'm drawing on. Yo, I call Shogun, what up? Popping in when mobile will say, hey, but I'm cooking literally right now, so I won't be sticking around. Huion gang gang. Yo, I love Huion. Unless Wacom decides to sponsor me, I don't have a lot of great things to say about Wacom. Wacom's been the industry standard for so long, and people popped up and they're doing it better. Pause. So, I bought this. This is a Canvas 20. I bought this like maybe 3 years ago. Hold on, low cook. That's right, Wacom. So yeah, people used to say it was Wacom, but it's Wacom. And I've had no problems with this thing at all. And for the price of this thing, I could have bought 3. No, wait, hold on. For the price of a Wacom this size, I could have bought 3 of these. And I'm just like, bro, you're just drawing on a screen. It's not that serious. So luckily, I haven't had any problems. And actually, I feel like the sensitivity is better than my old Wacom. Because really what happens is, stuff over. I'm going to move it to my thirdary screen. So you'll see me kind of look over here while I'm talking to you guys. Yeah. And I know Wacom needs to pay their rent and everything, but it's just kind of like there's other people doing this now. And kind of like, I don't know, show me why I'm paying all this money. So there's Huion, there's Xpin, there's a new place called Sense with an X, like Sense Labs. And at the Rubin Awards for the National Cartoonist Society, Sense Labs was there, and they were doing demos and having all us cartoonists draw on it, and it was cool. But and there's even people who like have their Microsoft Surfaces, or I have my Samsung tablet. I'll draw on in a pinch. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Shogun. Sense Labs. And it's just like it does the same stuff. So it's kind of like, how do you want to rock? So another thing about ASHYSTREAM is usually and all my other things that I do when there's audience participation, I usually read back what they're saying. But on ASHYSTREAM, I just react. So I'm not going to read what everybody's saying. Yeah, word, Duke. I feel the same way. It's just like, but also I do believe in you kind of get what you pay for, but I don't think the stuff should be thousands of dollars in 2024. And there's this guy named Brad Colbow, Colbow. I think he goes by Brad Cowboy, and he's a YouTuber, and he does a lot of tech reviews, and it seems like the past couple of years he just reviews tablets and drawing devices. and just put in Huey on 2024 and see what he's got to say. I mean, between all of this and the iPad, it's almost like you don't have any more excuses to entry. You just need to get some work done. So I hope you guys enjoy looking over my shoulder while I get some stuff done. So let's see. Yeah, word up. Yeah, Nakota, I agree. And it's just kind of like you got to do what works for you. But I'll say, coming from a world of being like a brand loyalist, and it's like I feel like almost every couple of months, like I'm part of a bunch of different little social network things, and there's a buddy who's on there going like, "Yo, does this ever happen to your Wacom? Like, the thing stopped working. I don't know what to do. Is this a driver thing? Or do I need to just throw this whole thing in the garbage?" Shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that. So, kind of what's going on tonight is I'm just kind of noodling around, and I looked at the calendar and I was like, yo, this is the last day in June, and I don't want what we had together, y'all, to be over. So I was like, let me go live, because I have been promising that we do an ASHYSTREAM, and I just haven't gotten to it. And I thought, well, this would be cool. And also, Patreon just started this new thing, but apparently I can't access it yet. It's called a drop, and I think it's in beta testing. And it's basically like doing YouTube directly to your patrons or something like that. I mean, I can just do that now, but tell them, show me. So I thought I was going to maybe try out this new tech and do a drop, but I don't have access to it yet. It says I'm on a waiting list. So, I think this works just as well. So kind of looks like it's the P and Dubs in here, and that is always okay with me. So, and I got to thank you guys again for being so supportive over the year or so that you guys have been supporting my work. Means the world to me. And just the engagement, and I say this all the time, I think the engagement is something that really works for me. I know a lot of people who are just like, yo, I don't ever speak to these people, and people ask me questions and I don't answer them, but I'm not built like that. So I love that you guys interact with what I'm doing, even when we're on the chat join. So I appreciate you guys. P and Dubs. Oh man. Well, I hope that you guys have found a value in supporting my work, and also being friends. We're friends, and I can say that with no sarcasm. I think you become friends with people who mean something to you, and you guys mean a lot to me, so I appreciate that. Wow, that's really cool. So I don't know, is this kind of freaking you guys out, like watching me draw and then also seeing it on the screen? Oh, I appreciate that. If I showed up on your door unannounced, I was probably being chased. So I hope that you'd be home and would garner me safe passage. Oh, thanks. Yeah, because I could just take off the screen camera, and then you're just seeing like the mouse magically move around. But this is kind of what I like about ASHYSTREAM. Is just all this time that I spend kind of running my mouth, because that's what I do best. And I'll say something really kind of cheeky on coffee break, like, "Oh yeah, guess what? I'm a cartoonist too." And I kind of say that again, like a little tongue in cheek, but at the same time, like, hey, just don't forget that I'm a cartoonist too, because everybody else just like draws on camera, and that's their whole thing. And I've said this a million times. My whole career, I have led with my face, right? So, my whole idea is if that you enjoy my 16 charisma with a +3 modifier, and you might find something you like about my work, and then we go there, versus the other way around. So that even turns into like, I don't necessarily draw for attention. And that's no knock on every other cartoonist who draws on stream, but that's just how I'm built, and I've gotten into little arguments with people over the years about like, "Yo, man, I thought you'd be drawing more." Thanks, guys. So also, in case anybody's interested, or maybe you weren't, I am drawing in, is this angle good? Is that good? But if I do that, I can't. It's hard for me to draw. Hold on, let me move this over a little bit. There you go. What's that? No, okay. This is Clip Studio Paint, and I have been using Clip Studio Paint for a long time. It used to be called, what was the thing called? It used to be called Manga Studio. And what's very cool about this is, if you listen to anything that we've been saying over the years, is that a lot of comic book artists basically tricked Photoshop into doing what you needed it to do. And everybody had some sort of formula or workaround to make Photoshop work for what they needed to do, like coloring or what have you. And then maybe, it's just been around for like maybe 10 years, 12 years, it might be 15, it's been a while. Maybe a decade or so ago, Manga Studio came out, and it's a very Japanese program. I think they've been using it in Japan for a long time. Thus, it's called Manga Studio, not Comic Book Dude Who Lives in America Studios. And the thing is programmed to do what you had to force Photoshop to do. So it was very kind of scary at first to learn, because if you had a copy of it back in the day, most of it was in Japanese, and then people were kind of like, "Yo, y'all know about this?" And people started rocking with it. And I think I started with Manga Studio EX 3.0, something like that. So there was always Manga Studio Pro, and then there was EX. And you would think EX would be, no, you would think Pro would be better than EX, but it's the reverse. So really the only difference between the two is in EX, which is what I use now. If you look up here, it says Clip Studio Paint EX. EX allows you to make stories. And basically, I'll draw over here. What that means is EX. Let me make that a little brighter. See, my ADD is about to start popping up. So basically, EX means that you can create stories. So like, say if I wanted to do a 6-page comic, I could go into Clip Studio EX and say, I want to make a comic book that's 8 pages long. And then you put in your parameters, what size it is, blah, blah, blah. And then it just makes this. So it's almost like they added like the parts of InDesign that a lot of us know if you're into kind of like preparing documents for flight, or like say you're making a magazine or a book, and it kind of spits everything out in pages. And then also one thing that's really cool about EX is that it has a very, very low footprint. If you were trying to do all this in Photoshop, you can't do stories in Photoshop. Having a million PSD files laying all over the place is going to like really hurt your hard drive pause. But however they did this, it made it kind of really easy on your system. So in Clip Studio Paint Pro, it does everything else, but you can only do one document at a time. That's the difference. So when people go like, yo, which one should I get? Like, get EX. Yeah, that's exactly it. But that's just, setting up your file. The rest of it is kind of on you. Yeah. And even like they also have, and this is interesting, it sounds like I'm shilling for them, but I'm not today. What's interesting about Clip is that there's 2 versions. There's a desktop version, sorry about the dog. There's a desktop version, which I think now there's this, everything subscription, you guys, these days. The subscription version means you could pay just every once a year. And then the mobile versions, I guess, like if you have it on your iPad or something, I think you have to pay every month or something like that. It's weird. But because I run a studio, I have kind of like a studio account, so I can use it on a couple of different devices. Yeah, Adobe, they kind of messed up, and I don't know. I'm not somebody that's here to yuck yums, but like that's just it's not a good look. But also, I've always been that person to kind of like tell people like, yo, once you become a professional, you gotta pay for shit. I'm sure we all come from an age where it's like, yo, I know a dude who's got like a spindle of CDs. Yo, you like CDs? And you get busy with that. But then, once you start doing real client work and you've got, you got freelance bills, you should just go buy this stuff. But yeah, I don't know if I can't rock with Adobe like that right now. Yeah, that's crazy. It's true too. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. But also I try to be open to new ways of making things. Like I don't have all the answers. So, I can't be like, you did it wrong. You know what I mean? I can't do that. It's a really lame Hellboy. Yes, there it is, dude. Yeah, that's what it is. So, but however I have my studio thing set up, I have I think a couple of accounts. So kind of what's going on in the studio right now is Thank You for Your Support. Leon, Worst Friends Forever is coming out very soon. I'm counting down the months. And I am on the boards working on the third book in my Scholastic deal. So I turned in my drafts for that, and I'm kind of waiting to hear back from my team about what happens next. So in between that time, I'm keeping my hands busy, pause. And if I was like on deadline, like right this minute, I probably wouldn't be doing this, but this is good for me to kind of keep my hands moving, and also to, make sure I'm reaching out to you guys, and, also just keep me from doing other stuff. So I thought this would be cool. So if there's a point where I can say something like, I'm not busy right now, I guess this will be the closest thing. And it's hard for me to say that because I'm still busy. Like, and this is kind of cool, you guys. Like, I have a table full of fan mail I need to be writing letters back to, which is really cool. But I just have to be in the right frame of mind to do that. And I don't want to rush it. So what I just drew real quick, this is I love how kids talk about the characters, that call them OCs now. This is my OC. All my characters are OCs. This is me, or Jamar from the Jamar Chronicles. That I made up a long time ago. And I think a lot about, kind of like what's the next thing with these characters. And if you're an eagle-eyed scout, you may have seen this character in other books that I've done, which kind of goes along with my headcanon. That basically, I talk about this character once in a while. It's about this guy who went through a dimensional door and is now out in the wrong dimension trying to find his way home. Yeah, real original, right? But, I came up with this stuff in the early 90s, and I think Sliders came out right when I was kind of putting this together. I was like, yes, it's kind of like Sliders. And another funny thing is, I've always liked time travel movies, like Back to the Future, of course, but anything else like The Time Machine, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not smart enough to do time stories, but I could do dimension stories, because then it could do whatever you wanted to do. And kind of now we're in a period of time where everybody's sick of multiverses, but there's like nobody was doing this back when I came up with this stuff. So when I talk about the Jamar Chronicles now, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like Rick and Morty. And they go, oh. And I kind of groan about that. But if you've read my Leon books and you see the bus driver, which is Jamar, in my head, I believe that is my Jamar Chronicles character who got stuck in Leon's dimension. So he had to get a job. Let's see what's going on in the chat. No, it's not stressful. It's kind of like, it's almost like, say if you were preparing for a test, it's not exactly like this, but say you're preparing for a test, right? And then you do the test. Well, I guess that would be stressful, what I'm trying to say. No, I just kind of look at it like I have things that I need to get done, and I did them. Now I'm waiting for the next run of orders. So I think I would only be stressed if I was kind of like stressed in a way like, oh, I hope they like this, but not. Well, Dakota, I'm going to throw this back at you. what kind of stress would you feel like you'd be under waiting for notes? I'll put it back on you. Because I kind of have an answer, but I'm not stressed. It's kind of, I'm relieved that I did what I did. I just drew 260 pages of thumbnails, and I basically wrote a book. And now I'm just kind of taking a breather while the team looks it over and gives me notes for the next thing. I can't speak on any of that, but I'll also say it's too early to talk about any of that stuff. And it's all very, we'll see how it goes. What I hope is that they like working with me, and I think that I bring value to the publisher, and also that I'm a good presence for Kidlit, and that I'm a good ambassador of the art form. And I just have to make books. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll kind of see what happens from there. There's no kind of like sword of Damocles hanging over my head, like if this book does bad, you won't get more. It's not like that. But there will be a point where I think we talk about the future, but that hasn't happened yet. And I'll tell you as much as I can, but that's kind of that's where I'm at right now. But I'll say this, that I would love to do more books, and that's why when I'm on coffee break and I do my little song and dance at the end of that, it's because again, I can only do so much. I can only you draw, you guys know this, you make things and you put them out into the world and you hope it's received well, and past you promoting it and talking it up and telling people to go get it, it's kind of out of your hands after that. So I hope all of these things culminate in a really good vibe, and that they want to continue our relationship. Oh, thank you, dude. Just over the time of working all this stuff, and you guys know I'm really visual. I've been in these streets, singing praises of the publisher, and just doing good work, and just getting kids jazzed about reading. So all those things seem very kind of like, I don't know if that sounds cheesy, but there's so much more to this than just drawing stuff. When I say things like that, it kind of catches people off guard. It's like, if all I had to do was sit down and draw stuff and put it into a knothole of a tree in the forest, then everything would be great. Maybe that's how my attitude would be, but you guys see me out here, coffee break with JN is kind of like an infomercial for everything else I'm doing. Using this, again, using my face. But, I don't think that I have the luxury of just kind of doing work and not being visible in other ways. So, but thank you, Duke. Right? And that's a mission too. I've been doing a lot of keynotes and talking to educators who, we've talked about this before. I think we just assume that educators are like, yes, of course, whatever the kids like, let's do it. But we all know everybody has their own stuff going on, and there's still a lot of people who are like, I don't know what these graphic novels are. What is this dog man? Ugh. So there's a lot of kind of singing for your supper, Like, the stuff, your kids like the stuff for a reason, and nobody's in this to just like take years of their lives drawing something that is bad for a kid. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. But it's not a slam dunk, especially with, somebody like me who I think I'm a proven thing, but I'm still, the low person on the bench, and when I get called up to go onto the field, I gotta make plays, you know what I'm saying? But again, nobody ever said that to me. That's how my mind works. And I think it's pretty accurate. Yeah. So, again, that's also, and I'm just gonna ink this while you guys are watching because I've been running my mouth over here. That's also why I push so hard, pause, on getting the word out on these books. I'm not at any space where I can just go, hey, I did the next book, New York Times bestseller list. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's no Stephen King's over here. I gotta promote the hell out of this stuff, and I'll give a big tip of the bucket cap to the people on my, the people who are on my team at Scholastic. They do a magnificent job getting the word out there and getting the books out there. But I'm just not built to just like sit back and go, well, I guess I didn't like it. Like, well, what were you doing while these people were doing that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like you gotta, even though it's all this stuff is kind of out of your hands, you're still responsible for it. And if I didn't try, like, what's the point of any of this? I've said this in some interviews, and I hope you guys don't get too sick of me always posting interviews from other places. I think there's always something that you might learn about me. But I say one thing that I've seen from a lot of, I can't say young authors or young creatives, but just people who maybe don't know how the entrepreneurial part or the guerrilla marketing part works, is that, I've been at things. Let's just say I'm at a book festival and I'm hanging out with a bunch of authors or whatever, and they all, not all of them, but most of them sit around and gripe at each other about what they don't have, or somebody on their publisher's list gets all the good stuff and they don't get the good stuff. Or, I just fired my agent because blah, 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 he didn't get me this. And I stay dead quiet in those conversations because I don't know what their issues are, but I can't speak on it. And, you don't know if they're making stuff up. You don't know if they're just like, and I'm not getting into it with them, but all those things I kind of feel like, well, what are you doing? And if you weren't built that way, you would go, well, what do you mean? Like, it's your book. Are you really waiting on somebody to promote your book for you while you sit on your hands? I can't do that. So if you get through the end of your cycle and nobody has heard of your book and you didn't try to tell people about your book, that's on you. I really feel like that. But like I said, it's easy to blame somebody else for things that you aren't doing. And why I said at the beginning, I think that's something like younger or more inexperienced people would do, because they don't know that you're the only person that's going to care about your work the most. Everybody on your team and all that kind of stuff could, have the best hopes, and we, really hope this works, and we hope people love it. But then, at some point they got to go home and go do their stuff. And if you're like, you're not out here in these streets working hard enough for me, you got to do that. Anyway. Sorry about that. Kind of got me monologuing. Right? I mean, for real? It just doesn't make sense to me. But I've been at this for a while, so. And I do know there's a lot of things that happen that aren't fair, or maybe things weren't in the cards, or maybe what you thought wasn't what really happened. Blah 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 blah. I get it. I even remember, and this was a while ago, I got interviewed by MTV.com, and it was kind of some Black History piece, and they were like, "Have you ever not gotten something because you're Black?" I'm like, I can't answer that. What kind of bait is that? I said, I can't run my career like that, blaming other people or, taking L's because I thought somebody was keeping something from me. If you guys get anything out of being along on my journey, I say this all the time. You got to make shit happen. I don't know any other way to say that. You just got to make shit happen. And if you're waiting for somebody to make it happen for you, you might be waiting a long time. That's how this Patreon showed up. I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should do this. And I did it. Maybe I need 17 podcasts. Maybe I should tell Hawthorne I'll help him with his Ask Me Anything. You know what I'm saying? You just rock. You just rock with it. But again, I know not everybody is like me, or a lot of people think I'm insane for even doing the stuff I do. Well, and I've talked about this kind of stuff too, Nakota. Like, if it is not in your gut to, promote or put yourself out there in that way, find another way. It's just that simple, or bring somebody in who can do that thing that you can't do for you. I would never tell somebody to do things that they physically or maybe mentally can't or don't want to do. Then find another way around it. I think even what I was just talking about, I'm a good example. It's like, again, how many people do you know that are like, hey, I'm going on this thing and I'm just going to draw, and the Guitar Hero chat is going on the other thing, and they're like, all right, great, I'm going to auction this off. Here's, oh, look, I just made a bunch of money. My deal doesn't work like that, so I don't do that, but I'm still out here. I just do my thing a different way. So, that really takes just kind of stepping back and figuring out what your strengths are and finding a way to accentuate that and make it work for your situation. You're watching Ashy Stream, where your ashy dreams come true. Let's do an ash check. It's looking all right. And thank you guys for hanging out with me, and thank you, lurker person, who else is hanging out. I want to hope that maybe at the end of this All Access June, that maybe we'll get a couple of new subscribers to the Patreon. Yeah, I listened to you guys' Kickstarter interview. It was cool. But yeah, a lot of that is just kind of, I think there's a part where you got to get a little comfortable with it, but then you can pivot and figure out, okay, I did what I had to do, now I got to do something else. Sorry. All right, let's try this. PN Dubs, give me something to draw. Please no animals, because I'm not good at animals. But throw something out there real quick and I'll do my best to draw it. And this is just, I've been doodling on this on this document for a while. I drew a little young colossus over here. Alright. Y'all try to get me in trouble. Alright, let me get this started here. I've never played Horizon. Shit. I've seen Mike so much, and now I need to kind of look at some. I need a little reference point. I could see Mike in my head, but Mike always gets itchy when I say on camera that he's a good-looking dude. I'm just like, oh, come on. But, you know, very secure in myself, I can say that. What is this? Did you ever draw the Sonic the Hedgehog from? No. Alright, there he is. That's so Mike, that's so funny. Shit, what did I just do? Yeah, what I did wrong here was, Mike has a pretty angular face, and my intention here isn't just to copy what I'm looking at, but you know, I'm just riffing here. Like if you look at like he's got a very angular, like he's got a really sharp jaw. Then I think, was it Shogun? You got a null prize because you guessed. Was it you? Oh man, I forget. I'm sorry. Somebody realized that I drew Hawthorne in Leon Protector of the Playground. Another thing I like about Hawthorne is that, and this is funny, I think, I don't know if you guys think about it like this, all of us draw ourselves in our work. So, kind of like a lot of Hawthorne's characters kind of look like a soup base, like it kind of looks like Mike. But yeah, I drew him as one of the teachers at Leon's school. It's true. And every time I draw Mike, I draw him with the Homer Simpson mug. Minimize that. It's not about that. This flowing mane. I think that's one of the coolest things about Mike is that he's not an ego monster. He uses his powers for good, not evil. I don't know, you guys, how's this looking? So also it's funny, like we all draw the way we draw, but then I put this little JN on it. very, it looks like Shazam. Like the old school Shazam has like the yeah, this is very Marvel, right? And there's thick side, right? Let's see. Got something out of this. It looks like Hercules. That's what I think is kind of funny is, again, when a lot of people don't really watch me draw, I think sometimes people are surprised that I can draw. Maybe that's just my imposter syndrome I'm talking about. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Yo, what up, Jim Lujan? Good to see you, brother. Jim, I'm gonna do that thing for you this week, man. It's coming, boss. How are you, sir? If you guys remember, good buddy Jim Lujan, I interviewed Jim on Pencil to Pencil a long time ago. This Hawthorne kind of looks like Ric Flair here. Dum-dum. Actually, I feel like Hawthorne's got more hair than this. He needs more hair. That's crazy. I'm running out of paper. Yeah, right. It's like doing what it needs to do. How dark does this look? Hold on. I'm looking at this on a side screen. I just want to pull this over into my other app. See if this is working. Yeah. It looks, if you look at my camera, it looks lighter on my screen. It looks kind of dark here. Kind of looks like Mike. But yeah, I'll definitely make a sticker out of it. Yeah, I'll clean it up. Yeah, I'll clean it up. I got a couple of layers on here now. That'll. It's like Barry Gibb. I guess I should have been drawing Bodega Voltron, right? Oh shit, I did that wrong. So Jim, you didn't know I had a stream? You've been a supporter of my stuff for a while, Jim. How did you not know that? See, that's one bad thing. You kind of work on too many layers and you start forgetting where you put things. Dakota, I love that you love ASHYSTREAM. It's not a bad idea. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't like that effect. I think I know what I'm going to do. So I have all these layers that we label this. You see, I put his beard on another layer just in case. I just feel like I need to put I just feel like I need some more darks. I don't have a response to that, Jim. That's so funny. You found me out. That's right, I am indeed Timmy Truejoy. I've been hiding all this time. It's like Hitler. Oh shit. Well, I can do that. Also, it ain't hard to tell this week, so I don't think that's too hard to, it's not too difficult to discuss. So, you know, I use this rough pen. This is called Rusty Nib Pause. So it's kind of giving off this rough texture, but I'm gonna, like, it's a little too rough. It's almost looks like a wax crayon. I'm just gonna try to, like, tighten some of that up. It just looks. Also, when I did this, I didn't do a total 100% opacity on the blacks. So you can kind of go back in and, like, mess with the textures. You guys are probably watching this and going, no, don't draw that. You messed it up. I can't remember, was I going to draw eyes in here? I kind of like the Shazam eyes, but now, here we go. It looks like Gambit now. It's a pause. John Cena. You guys are making me laugh. Alright, I'll almost be finished with this. Jim asks, where did you like to draw? He had a little nook in the kitchen area. Perfect. I used to like drawing in front of the TV in the living room. That was my favorite place. I don't know, what do you guys think? We'll put this to bed. Well, this is pretty good for just like a, hey, do something, right? Hmm. Thank you. You know, when I might pick with this later, but I think this will make a good sticker, huh? I can do that, Nakota. Also, what's kind of funny is like I can see it's dark on your screen, that's not that dark here. So what I might do is, let me save this. And I'm going to flatten it. And now I'm going to lighten it a bit. Yeah, so it's, yeah, Nakota, it just looks darker because of the video or something, but it's pretty light on my phone. I mean, on my screen. think this might be the sticker. What do you guys think? But yeah, the halftones kind of make things darker than they probably really are. That's the power of Clip Studio Paint. Look at those eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. And that's a cartoon. All right, what time is 9:30? Guys, you've been watching Ashy Stream, where all your Ashy dreams come true. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Time for Ashy Check. Ugh. I've been in better shape. Let's see. Let me bring this over here. See what we're talking about. That's funny, right? Like what I just drew looks like. Wait, Jamar didn't just draw that. You ain't draw that. Jim Luhan, how are you, sir? It's okay. But yeah, man, you know, it's I had a lot of fun this month. I hope that some people who may he is a superhero. Thank you guys. I had a lot of fun this month. I hope that people who may have, you know, just kind of clicked a button and kind of forgot that we had stuff going on over here, kind of looked back again and went, oh, is that what you guys been doing? You know, this week will be the 107th. It ain't hard to tell. It's crazy. It felt like we were just doing number 100, right? And here we are, 107. And, you know, time moves on. But, you know, I really, at the beginning of all this, the reason I wanted to do a Patreon is that I wanted to right? Is I wanted to be able to worry about working, right? I wanted to worry about working and worry about just doing good stuff and not spinning my wheels trying to draw stuff to get attention. Like just making stuff and putting it on Instagram and then hoping somebody saw it so they can go, is not a good way for me to live my life. And I know a lot of people who feel like they get on this carousel and you can't get off of it. Pause. Because you just gotta work. You turn into a content creator and not a cartoonist. You're not a cartoonist anymore. You're trying to think of something to draw to get somebody to pop and maybe give you some attention. And I was just like, I just want the people who rock with me, and I can just rock with them. And that's what this is. And you know, I really appreciate everybody's support. It's not, I'll say it's not easy in the fact that, you know, I feel like I have to be bringing something of value for people to want to tune in, right? For people to want to support with their eyeballs or their wallets or both. And I don't take that for granted. And you know, I know people, and I see people who have like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers on social media, but it's not doing anything for them. Right? What is life? So, you know, that's why you can catch me on our chat, group chat app on Patreon, just kicking it. Like, I was showing pictures of me going to the video game convention the other day. You know, I'm not going to just put that out somewhere else. You know, like I'm in my circle of trust, and I appreciate you guys for it. So, all right, you guys, I want to wrap it up. I think that was a cool little project. You went up to a flower wit. Right? I get to see my pea, and I get to see the trees out in the Pacific Northwest. I love it. And I hope you enjoyed this. This is public. And after tonight, all this goes back behind the wall. Jim, I try to do an Ashy stream once a month. I fail at it miserably all the time, but I would like to do one of these a month. These take something out of me in a different way. Like, it's hard for me to draw and talk. And I can draw and I can talk. And I can draw and talk, but I'm also manipulating the boards, the chat boards at the same time. And that's just like, I'm at the limits of my superpowers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do these on a schedule, but I try to do one every month. And if a month goes by and I haven't done one, I'm like, shit, I didn't do an Ashy stream. But yeah, encourage me to do more of these. Yeah, this is kind of like I'm at the end. I'm like at the very end of my thing doing these, but this was fun, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I had good company. Thank you, Jim. Jim is one of my favorite animators. Whatever Jim's doing next, you should be watching it. And thank you. Let me close this. Well, I appreciate that, Nakota. And it's, you know, that's also a funny thing. It's like, you know, you do so much, and even the stuff I do, pause. People are like, oh, I don't know how you do all that stuff. Wow, it's crazy you do all these things. And it seems like, oh, you can do whatever, but, you know, there are things that don't tax me, and there are things that tax me. And if you've ever watched Pencil to Pencil back when we used to do a lot of drawing on the thing, I would always try to bow out of that, because I think with the amount of people chatting and watching, and me trying to draw and produce the show at the same time and talk to Mike and Steve, you're gonna see a system error. The Windows, boom, do. Like I don't want a blue screen. So I know my limitations, but this is great, and I'm glad you guys watch this with me. This will be evergreen. I don't want a 404. So I think if this was just a little more hectic, I might be like, guys, I'm tired, I'm going. But this was great, and I'm glad I had a prompt, so that really helped me out. So yeah, I'll surprise Mike with this one. It ain't hard to tell, and I'll definitely make a sticker out of this. So, guys, thanks so much. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for your eyeballs. Thank you for your love. This has been Ashy Stream. I'm JN, your Ashy host. Remember, it's always wise to moisturize. I'll see you guys on the other end. Maybe I'll see you guys in the chat. Oh, thank you, Nakota. You're making my Pisces sensitivities activate. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thanks, P and Dubs. Thanks, Jumahan. Thanks, everybody who will watch this later. I'm going to go get some moisture. Pause. I'll see you guys. Have a good night.